Hey everyone, I found a really fun new tool that I think is fantastically simple and very powerful. I could see this tool being used for exit tickets and bell ringers, checks for understanding, and deep, rich classroom discussions. There are so many possibilities. The address is called SuperStructures.io. And so when I go to that, I signed up for an account and then I started creating things, and they're so much fun to create. But when you go to create something, click here. You've got 9 choices, not a ton to get overwhelmed, but some really cool things that you can build out with your students. So there are columns, a spectrum or a timeline sort of thing, Venn diagrams, a debate, dot plots, the connect, and all of these end up being really visually super exciting and fun to look at and to see. So I wanted to show you a couple of examples and then one that I built and how it works with students. So a good example of the Venn diagram, a simple one. So it's weather and climate were the two examples or the two big categories. And then students had to start putting things in that come under one, the other, or both of the categories. And you can see here these dots were put in by students, and then they have to explain why they put the dot there. And that's true for all of them. So all of these were put in by, I'm sure, a sample student, but there are just a ton of different ways that you can use this as an example with students for they have to put their information in, and then they earn little badges for it based on different categories: clarity, justification, insight, just in relation to the overall category. So that's like an AI supporting tool that is built into this. Okay, so that was just the Venn diagram. There are tons more samples that you can dive into, and I love seeing the connections ones. Look how just dynamically fun that is to build out. So I'm going to show you how I built one of these, just a simple one to start. So I clicked create, and then I named it "What Makes a School." And I started putting in a couple of things, and here's where you would have your students come in and do this. So once you've built the question, you can share it with your students by giving them this address and the code. Or once I click OK here, it tells me the URL for this activity has been copied, and send it to your students. And you can send it out with Google Classroom or Canvas or whatever. So I put that in a sample account, and I had the sample account put in books and teachers, and then I, as the teacher, put in building. And each time I added something in, it asked me to do that justification or explanation. And then it gives me some badges based on how well I did. So from the student's view, I'm going to switch windows just for a moment here. It just looks the same almost. And you can see that I can click on the plus and I can add another color. Let's make it pink. And also inside of schools, there are kids, right? Because kids learn. And so when I put kids in, then it puts my box in. Kids are the whole reason schools exist. And so I can then click back to my main question, and I've got my answer there. And I now have switched back to the teacher page, and I can see the new one here. Now there's also a little dashboard that gives you a little bit more insight. So if I click teacher view, I can see the students who are responding, how many times they've responded, and like what they're saying, and the awards that they've been given. So there's a lot of cool stuff on this side. And then I can get class insights to the patterns, give kids a suggestion, encourage students to think about the feel of a school. And then I can also ask a question to have AI sort of summarize. Like if I had lots of things going on, I could say something like, who is responding the most, or most thoughtfully, or whatever. And it tells me the student who has responded the most. Yeah. So some really, really cool things that can happen behind the scenes as well. You can also go back and edit it. You can set timers, you make it full screen, lock it. You can make an individual mode so the students have to answer themselves, and then you can turn off individual mode and let them see everybody else's answers pop in. So that's really cool. You can view all the responses and print them and then copy it and make another one out of it. So lots of really cool things. Now I'm going to go over and show you one more example I did with the electromagnetic spectrum. This would be really great for anything that is on a continuum or is either or somewhere along that grid. And so what I chose here was the electromagnetic spectrum. I named it, and then I gave it long wavelengths and short wavelengths. And then to put in the dots, you can put them in yourself, and I did a few, but then you can also have AI do it and give as much detail as you want. I just said the different wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum. And so then let's say I want to add I want everyday examples where different wavelengths are used. And so then it's going to add more dots for me to put in. So now I have infrared heat lamps, a TV remote, wireless internet. And so these are all things kids would have to place on this line. And I can then use my same teacher tools to see who is answering, where they're putting their dots, and so on. So I hope this has been helpful and that you can see the possibilities. Just again, there are so many different ways that you can use this in just about any topic in almost every age group. If they can type anything at all, so even down to late kindergarten, first grade, they could probably do some form of this, which I think is fantastic in a tech tool. So hope this has been helpful and that you have some time to check it out sometime. Thanks and have a great day.